Dude.
Dude, welcome back to Hanging Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, and we've got a lot to talk about today. The guys are all rambling, already getting going on off podcast, so we got some discussions, obviously. But let's obviously go around to the different dudes and figure out what's going on. Let's start off with Mr. Howard, sir. How you been?
It's been pretty good, I'd say, as of late. It's been quite the rainy, I guess, forecast we've had almost all week over here, which is kind of stunk. Wanted to go out and get some things done. But, of course, when I'm not getting things done and being productive and I'm inside, it's always watching sports. So that's what we've been doing over here. And it's been a crazy weekend, I'd say, for some sports, obviously. Some things going on we'll get further about in this podcast. Ja Morant got a game winner. Don't know if we'll bring it up in any form or not, but it is pretty crazy. He is the man of the hour for his finger guns that Adam Silver is so scared about. But, other than that, just been kind of chilling, getting baseball season rolling around, and living the life of a sports fan as an adult.
Absolutely. Our 10-day contract keeps expanding for Mr. K-Stel, as he definitely is rocking the Minecraft sunglasses. K-Stel, what's going on?
Chicken
jockey.
Just a couple things. Just a couple things. I haven't seen the masterpiece yet, is what I've been hearing. It's what the word on the street is. That the theaters are getting a bit rowdy for old Jack Black coming back. That was not supposed to be a rhyme. Looks like P4, when he was typing, turned on his cap locks and then hit shift when he put the T. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, what a great, honestly, I wish we could have recorded the beginning, the moment when you saw the basketball moving. That was a pretty exciting moment, and that we could have caught on camera, but it would have been a little off topic in some areas. That was mainly P4 and PC, the Paytons getting together, just chatting it up. Other than that, a lot of good ball. Had an officials camp this week. That was exciting. Got some good feedback.
Maybe we should get you in the Final Four.
Got some conditioning in. You know what's crazy? I saw my old coach. You know what's crazy? I saw my old coach from Travel Ball. He's always there at the Puma Circuits is what it's called. And every time he sees me, man, he always goes, man, I better be seeing you in the Final Four in 3 years. He keeps adding years every time he sees me because it's been 4 or 5 years. So
fuck, I would have thought that kid got better at.
It's nope, I'm still here. I'm still rocking and rolling.
Someday you'll make it.
If I ever make the Final Four, I better be rotating better than what those guys in the Houston and Duke game was. That was an incredibly difficult game to officiate all across the board. We'll get into some calls later, though, that P4 wants to definitely talk about.
They sure made it look like they earned it.
Baseball, awesome. NFL draft, yippee. Hockey? How about Ovi? That's one of the biggest things that happened in sports history. Seriously, that is an incredible feat. Anyways,
a Wayne Gretzky record getting passed is pretty tough.
No one will ever beat Gretzky's points, though. If you took away Gretzky's goals, I think he's still the point leader in hockey, which is still unbelievable. Anyways, solid weekend of sports. We'll shift it over to P4 after PC has some words.
Yeah, absolutely. Might as well just make him the host now since he's just taking my job for me. So, I guess the main man from way out west, give us your words.
Here are my words. Hello, folks. See a couple of you guys are watching. Like, subscribe, donate via Super Chat, tell your friends, the way we grow. World keeps spinning. Our Blue Devils, they'll keep going. Come on, we made it further than KU kind of by a lot, and Big 12 represents, so now they're going to act like Big 12 fan. It's it doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like if a Cowboys fan was happy that the Eagles won the World.
Whoa. Did anyone hear Big 12 fans say that?
No. But that's what that's what you guys are gonna end up saying because the ACC was bad and all that. They made it to the Final fucking Four. They were a pretty goddamn good team. Cooper Flag, good player. Couple important things. Carmelo Anthony still has had the best. He reigns atop his best freshman season ever, which isn't a bad thing for me. So we'll stick with that. And right here, let's share this real quick.
Future agendas.
Look at that.
Look at him.
He's the man.
Look at him. He's number one.
Do you think? So is Big Justice his cousin? Is that it?
No, not related. No relation. Big Justice is a Yankees fan.
Oh.
Not in for Big Justice. Doom for Big Justice.
Okay.
Big doom.
Okay.
5 big booms for the Rizzler. Boom, 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 boom. Throughout the first pitch for the Mets today as they complete the sweep of the Blue Jays. We'll talk more baseball.
I'm going to be so sad
Other than
when he's skinny.
Danny Young, the Mets pitching staff's actually looking pretty good. So we were talking all that smack earlier, but maybe we had the Rizzler to the pen. A little soft toss.
I might
action.
be pretty good there. Yeah, exactly, right. He maybe
Hello.
Can the
get a
Rizzler
little
outplay Big Justice?
only logical arguments here on the Dudes of Sports podcast if the Rizzler or Big Justice would help out a Major League Baseball team more. But we might as well. We'll stick.
That's a tough
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100%. But let's focus a little bit. Let's get through our off-season stuff a little bit before we get to obviously the main attraction in college basketball. Let's do some NFL mock draft. NFL draft is Thursday, April 24th. So we'll do a huge mock draft on the 20th, the Sunday right before, and we'll probably go live again for the first round like we did last year. And then so this week. Let's just go over kind of who we think maybe our teams would want first pick for obviously Howard's team if it's changed at all. The Jets for main man from way out west, and then Kyle and I will both do the Chiefs. We'll just make this nice and sweet. And if anybody's got any off-season comments after this, then you guys can kind of roll through that. But let's do some NFL mock draft kind of picks. So the combine, kind of officially over. We're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft. I'll give some of the dudes this time to kind of think about who they want. I'm gonna start it off here, folks. I haven't started it off. Let's have me start it off for once, and then we'll go to Howard, main man from way out west, and then K-Stell will be his last little Chiefs stuff. So you get Chiefs on the front end, Chiefs on the back end. But let's do. We've got a bunch of different great signings for the Chiefs. But I really, really think that our offensive line, we can figure something out for that. I mean, we got a few pickups here that have been really good, but there's still a piece missing maybe. And honestly, our offensive weapons from last year were hurt, but I think we could pick up another weapon. It worked great for us last year. So what I'm going to pick is the kid from is in between two different receivers. I think adding one more receiver to that arsenal would be really, really beneficial in the first round. The two names I really like.
I'm just thinking how many we have right now. Do we have 4?
We've got
4.
Yeah.
Juju?
What?
Hollywood?
Wait till the off-season
Hollywood.
DUIs happen.
Yeah, there'll be something. There'll be
Juju,
injured. Somebody be
Hollywood,
injured.
Rice, Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 4. So we get one more in there to get some reps, a young buck. We're not, kind of offensive line kind of feel. The one that I think would be the best fit for it is there's that Texas wide receiver connection. I think Matthew Golden out of Texas would be really, really good wide receiver for the Chiefs. He's just got really great speed. He's in and out of routes. They definitely need somebody that's going to be that type of player. They have a Juju that does that, but obviously it's Juju. If they can find somebody that can elevate up for further, he'd be really good. And then my kind of sleeper one that I really enjoy, and all you Mizzou fans really like it out there, I honestly think Luther Burden would be a really good pick for the Chiefs, just because, again, adding another deep ball threat. He didn't have a great year last year for Mizzou, kind of struggled, but, he had Cook throwing him the ball. If Mahomes was throwing the guy the ball, any average wide receiver is going to look pretty good with him throwing the football. So if you're a good wide receiver and you have a good quarterback, it should work, unless you're like somebody else that I won't mention, like a team in New York. But we won't get there. But That's kind of my pick there. I think I'm gonna go with Matthew Golden from Texas. I think he's the best fit there. But just kind of give us one more offensive weapon, I think would be pretty good there at 31. So let's go from the back end of the draft all the way to the very first pick. Howard, is there any changes up there in Tennessee, do you think, for your pick, or do you think it's going to be the same type of Cam Ward magic?
Well, I think it's not even about more if my pick has changed and more if the media is thinking differently. And I think now that everyone's kind of getting on the same boat, there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on with the Titans all being at his private workout. Obviously had a lot of staff on his pro day. And now with Shedeur, we have a video crew that did go down and do like videotaping for Shedeur and Travis Hunter down there. But it looks like they won't be attending his private workout, or at least they won't be having a private workout, Shedeur, in that case, with the Titans, nor Travis Hunter. So it looks like Cam Ward will be the only one that has a private workout with the Titans. There's been a lot of meetings with that, and even Todd McShay, I believe, today, and Jim Wyatt has said it's pretty much a lock that Cam Ward is going to be going to Tennessee. So that is seeming like the case there. Not really too much for me to elaborate on that besides what I've already said. I think he'll be a great quarterback if that's where we go in terms of what we're looking for. It'll be exciting, which is what the Titans need. They don't even need necessarily great. They just need something to watch the team. That's not just throwing the pick directly to another team and then all of a sudden putting your hands over your head thinking like you don't know how you threw the ball directly to the other team. Shout out Will Levis. But that is, I guess, the move for number one, which I would be completely happy about if that is officially the pick is in. There has been some shock in the past, so I'm not going to say it's a lock. But that would be pretty cool if that is what goes down, and I'd like that. I will say, just I guess kind of going a little elaboration, for the second pick, though, there is a lot of speculation, as you said, even that Luther Burden is an underrated pick, which is true according to these mock draft people, which is insane because at one point last year he was having like top receiver in the draft expectations, and obviously he didn't have a great season, sure, but I think he still put on incredible tape. And if the Titans are able to go through the second round and apparently get them like some draft analysts have been thinking about, and Luther Burden does fall that low, I think Cam Ward round 1 and Luther Burden round 2 would be like the perfect splash picks for this draft. So that is my kind of elaboration and hope for this draft, but I also know that that is pretty high, and Cam Ward alone would make me happy.
Yeah, hopefully some excitement up there in Tennessee from Mr. Howard. That'd be obviously Cam Ward, cool. Luke Burden dropping all the way for them. That would be cool. Let's go to the New York Jets. They had Rodgers and Devontae. Kind of didn't work out there, but so now we're starting a brand new start for the Jets. Main man from way out west, where does this start for you in the draft in round 1?
So Jackson Dart's kind of been the talking point all off season. Apparently the Jets have not turned off of quarterback yet. So it could be a quarterback, it could be Dart, could be Milroe. I don't think it would be Shedeur with what I've heard from kind of about Aaron Glenn. It seems like wherever Shedeur goes, it's going to end up kind of being the Shedeur show. Whether that be is New York or whatever. So what Todd McShay was saying earlier, Howard alluded to it. Titans canceled their plans, so Cam Ward's probably number 1. McShay in the same tweet says, hear more rumors about Travis Hunter to Cleveland, so that would mean Abdul Carter or Shedeur Sanders for the Giants at number 3. I don't know what they would do there. I would kind of think Carter with all the quarterbacks they brought in. That's kind of a crowded room. And then just kind of an interesting room, too. I don't know if they're looking to go Arch next year or the kid from Tennessee. But I'm not quite sure where Shedeur goes. It could be Vegas. I mean, they just signed Geno to a big thing. But the new thing, so the Jets kind of quarterback was being talked about, but the new one that came out today that I've been hearing rumblings about on Jets Twitter was trading Breece Hall and taking Ashton Jeanty. So that's gained some traction today. I don't know why. Breece Hall's a 23-year-old running back. and already has 3 years in the league. Health is obviously an issue, but he hasn't gotten many touches as a running back. He catches the ball a lot out of the backfield. I think he's a good athlete, good player. But we'll see what happens with Jeanty. And then the other options, offensive line again. I don't think they'll go wide receiver. I heard another thing that said that they might even trade back. But there's a lot of options for the Jets. I don't think any position is out of the question. I'm hoping they go best player available. But trading away our already young talent would not be a good option, in my opinion. But they could kind of go anywhere. This is one of the first Jet years where it's like, whoa, what are they going to do? Which, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. But I like a team that doesn't have a whole bunch of smoke like that. Like the Chiefs could go any direction. The Jets have been just in purgatory as one of these teams where they go, well, we know where they're going offensive line this year. Oh, we know they're going to go quarterback this year. I kind of like the fact that it's like a little up for debate now. Regardless who we pick, they're going to suck, but that doesn't change.
Yeah, great insights there on the Jets from the main man from way out west. And let's go finally to K-Stel. I gave mine and Golden and maybe Luther Burden at wide receiver. Are you kind of catching the same drift, or are you kind of going somewhere else for the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's always a tough get at 31. There's not really a guy you can just go and jump up 2 spots to go get, like we did Xavier Worthy. The Chiefs are looking for a edge first, in my opinion, just because there's just not a lot of great talent there. So maybe gain some depth is good. I think if they can trade up for Mike Green, that would be phenomenal. Don't think they have the capital to. If they kind of stick back at 31, I'm really not opposed of getting Landon Jackson. I know he's at 48 right here on database. Landon Jackson's a dude. He's heavy. He's not necessarily the fastest out there. Bald dude. Alopecia, or whatever that's called. Alopecia. Sorry for all the medical definitions. That would be cool. If the Chiefs do
all of us would have been suffering, not just him.
I think the Chiefs, in my opinion, do go offensive line. I think if they can get Josh Simmons, if he falls a bit because of his injury-prone situation, if Josh is down to like 26, I think the Chiefs trade up and get him and make him fight out a position at tackle or guard. That would absolutely set the edge. No. Josh Cornely, he's just a second-round pick in a lot of other drafts. If the Chiefs want to go wide receiver, I think they definitely go Luther Burden. As PC said, if you're with Patrick Mahomes, if you're with any good quarterback, you're going to be a good wide receiver. He's not going to be a stud like Rice and Xavier were, most likely, just because he does have a ceiling that is a bit lower. But his floor is definitely higher than a lot of other wide receivers. And if Egbuka does drop, go get him immediately. He's a good player. I would go and grab him. And then lastly, I think if the Chiefs take anyone else in the first round, it'll probably be a D-end. I think Mason Graham. Oh, not Mason Graham. Kenneth Grant. Sorry, wrong Michigan guy. Mason Graham is not going to the Chiefs. Kenneth Grant is a really good player. Just depth at this point. But out of the edge offensive line, wide receiver, the D-line, I wouldn't be shocked if they went out and drafted a freaking tight end. It's whatever. Listen, they're really good at what they're getting. And I think they're figuring out that their first-round draft picks can't be misses anymore with Xavier. And I know Trent was an easy pick, and he's not a miss, but it's also at 21, and that was a stacked year. So, not that hard to get through. But just some depth pieces. Really good depth pieces is just what you need. I think offensive tackle or offensive line is where they go, in my opinion. But if Luther Burden or Egbuka is there, get him. Because you'll find a guy that can fight for spots on the offensive line. You need skill players. You can't have enough skill players at all. And if you have too many, trade them, cut them. Who cares? Save some cap space. Other than that, we really won't know until, like, the guys who pay attention to this stuff, especially for the Chiefs, that I have that are trusted sources, actually start digging in deeper. Because right now they're all over the board. All over the board. Like kind of where I am. It really is a wild card. It's like the Chiefs draft right now is mainly that third round, second round picks. Those guys. This first round pick is either trade up. I wouldn't trade down because why would you trade down for a good player that's sitting there? It makes no sense. Unless they really go, these guys are just athletes, don't really have the IQ. I don't know. We'll see. Chiefs don't really have a lot of issues like other teams, in my opinion. They just played a bad game in the Super Bowl, and we can't look at that and go, we need to rebuild the whole team. Because I definitely did that for a little bit. That's because I'm delusional sometimes.
Sometimes?
I can't be that down on myself.
No,
I got to be fair.
Good insights there on K-Stel. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the board. That 31st pick's kind of an interesting one to kind of figure out. So, yeah, there's kind of our picks for the guys. Like I said, we'll do a bigger mock draft. That'll be our main episode on the 20th here in 2 weeks. So make sure you set your calendars for that if you want to look at our first round mock draft. We'll do that as a Dude Sports crew here on the 20th. So now flipping from the off-season stuff, let's get into the main attraction here of sports right now. We did have a Final Four this Saturday. Florida ended up beating Auburn 79-73. Walter Clayton put on an absolute show for everybody to watch. It doesn't matter. I don't think even if you're an Auburn fan, he scored 34 points and was clutch the entire time.
He's ridiculous.
It was continually was the it factor. I think honestly, Alex. I always say this wrong. It's like condone, whatever. Condon. There you go. He really didn't shoot well. He didn't play well at all. But he really stopped Broome from doing whatever he wanted on the inside. Broome ended up only with 15 points, going 6 for 14 from the field. Huge defensive stops them. And then Chidalou as well had a really great, solid game on the inside. You thought maybe Broome would be able to have his way. He did not. And then, of course, obviously, Walter Clayton Jr. Going 5 from 8 from 3, 11 and 18 from the floor with 34 points, went off. Elijah Martin may have had the dunk of the tournament. If you didn't catch that, I can see if I can find that clip real quick. But that was an unbelievable two-guy dunk on. High-intensity moment in the game. Just insane there. For the Auburn Tigers, they end up their season with Johnny Broome didn't shoot very well. Chad Baker-Mazara played well, 4 for 7, 6 for 10 from the floor with 18 points. He was their leading scorer. But it just never seemed like... it was back and forth there for a while, but then Florida, towards the end of the game, you kind of saw this. They kind of started to really gain the momentum and really focus and just give Walter Clayton the ball and got out of the way. And Walter Clayton was able to prove why he is one of the best players in college basketball. Florida will move on. Any thoughts from any of the dudes? Fire away.
Yeah, I thought Thomas Houck, I know I've been talking about him literally like all the time we talk about Florida, but he showed out in this one as well too. Like Clayton definitely had the crazy clutch buckets. Just I've never seen a guy that can go and shoot off his feet and very uncomfortably from three so efficiently, at least in the college level like Clayton. But at the same time, Houck was really making the plays that weren't really put up on stat sheets or even especially on the scoreboard. Like he was going around and just being this physical presence, going in and just pretty much dominating inside, got really clutch late buckets. He is just absolutely, in my opinion, Condon gets a lot of notoriety for being like the best NBA prospect out of this, I guess, in terms of age and all. But I really like Houck being a true sophomore, I believe. And he just completely, I feel like every game this tournament, he's at least done a few things in the game to where like it just completely changes the momentum in Florida's way, and either it'll cruise to the rest of the way out or it's something that just completely changes the game. in terms of Florida getting back into it. So, yeah, definitely going on their side going into this national championship as they've clinched. I think that they will be a very tough out. I was definitely not, I guess, underestimating Florida going into this tournament quite a bit. Didn't think they had what Auburn did have in the regular season, but they didn't really choke or anything like that this whole time. They did good. They did good in this road to the national championship.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great take there with Thomas. Can't forget about Houck there. He did play phenomenal. You know, those three guys there with Condon and Chunulu, and then also Houck coming in and playing. They're big guys, are definitely one to reckon with, and definitely were probably underrated compared to the rest of the Florida team with their trio in the backcourt with Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, and Will Richard. That front court is just as impressive, and they continue to get better and better throughout the year. So they end up winning, and then now we can go quickly over to the second game. Duke unfortunately falls to Houston 70-67. Duke had the control for the entire game until about last, I don't know, minute and a half, 7 minutes. They didn't score. They went one field goal in the last 10. Houston locked down the defensive end. Yes, are there some calls?
No. Lockdown is not even the example of what they did. This Houston team put on one of the greatest defensive performances I think I've ever seen a team do, ever. And the reason that's the case is because this is one of the best offenses they did it against. That Duke team had one of the best offenses I've ever seen collectively in college basketball. That didn't include designed plays. So, like, not really a Bill Self style of basketball. Just pure fluid motion of scoring. One of the best freshmen we've seen. One of the best rosters we've seen on the offensive side. And they only scored one field goal in 10 minutes. It truly is. I mean, it's got to go into the Hall of Fame somewhere. That is unbelievable. And it's not one of the greatest defensive performances in the NCAA tournament, college basketball, quite possibly in any sport ever. Just because of the level it was at, the team it was against. And we'll look back at this Duke team, and some people will go, yeah, they lost, and they played in a bad conference. Guys, KenPom has been out for a long time. This Duke team just kind of blew all those records away with how good their offense was. And Houston said, screw you. It's not going to happen. It's unbelievable. I can't even, believe it sometimes when they show it on the screen. That is unbelievably hard to do. Now, they did get their free throws in, and that's just kind of how they play. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, obviously a great performance there by Houston. LJ Cryer ended up with 26 points, leading Houston in the scoring column. On the Duke Blue Devils side, Cooper Flagg, phenomenal game, 8 for 19, 3 from 4 from 3 with 27 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. You had Ken Nipple, who ended up with 3 for 5 from three-pointer, 5 for 9 with 16 points as well. Duke had a great season. I'll let P4 kind of go on his rant about the game. What did you think as a true Blue Devil fan?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great season by the team. Houston's obviously a good team. Credit to them. The officiating didn't help their case. There was a lot of big calls down the stretch that I thought were very ticky-tacky. I feel like that happened in the Arizona game. I don't want to turn this into a bigger thing about the NCAA and hitting the over and making sure games are close towards the end. But this Duke team, blew out just about every other team they played all season. And they were well on their way in this Houston game, and then a lot of whistles in those last couple of minutes. And that's the way the game goes. Best of luck to that whole squad. This freshman class is very good, very cool. I am excited to see how they do in the pros. Now, if I look into my crystal ball, who's going to be the best pro out of this three? This is something that I did infamously with the 2018 class, and I said that Cam Reddish is the best player out of that trio. And you know what? None of those guys are good NBA players, or at least not healthy ones. So, you know, Cam might be the best professional player if he goes over to China and averages 30. But I don't know. I really like Malawak, man. He's a great player. He's got a good frame. He's not one of these 7-footers built like a twig. He's got some beef on him. And then looking forward for Duke, I mean, we got a good squad coming in next year. You got the Boozer kids. The ACC is going to look a lot better next year, too. So PC is going to have a lot less to talk about next season during the podcast. But, yeah, excited for the team. Like Kyle was saying, maybe that's something Scheyer could do better, because I was giving him a lot of credit last episode talking about his defense, and I do think he has changed that defense. I mean, they were running. Those Coach K years towards the end, it was a lot of kind of NBA pro ball where it's like, get back on defense, throw a hand out there, James Harden defense. But those guys were running around. Maybe some more plays, some more setups, some more sets. Get your shooters open, especially when you're going to have the Boozer twins out there. It's going to have a lot more ball movement involved other than the Cooper Flag show and then wait for Con in the corner. But, yeah, love these kids. Wish them the best going forward. Obviously didn't end the way we wanted it to, but good squad, good team. Better than any of the other teams represented on this podcast, so I'll take that any day of the week. That's really all I'm fighting for, is to be better than the people who like me the most. So, yeah, take it away.
Yeah, no, great season by Duke. You cannot, I mean, as much as I am a Duke hater, and I'll always have been that, you can't say that they didn't have a phenomenal season. They didn't have a phenomenal player. They were probably the most fun offensive team to watch that I've ever seen. They had a great season and just got caught by a really, really good defensive team in Houston. Duke's got a lot to get going for them. Next season, they've got the Boozer twins coming in. And I agree with P4 there with the John Sire comment with, like, maybe he had to run a little more sets. This might be also, like, he hasn't really had that much experience in the tournament, and this was him, like, just letting the kids go, and now he's kind of has this experience where maybe next year that he could really help them to be best as a team versus just letting his players be athletes out there. Like, he could be more of a coach. I think it's, even though you lost in the Final Four, it's still a great step for Scheyer to become one of those coaches where now you're going to be able to be reliant on him to be more of a coach instead of just being a stand-in for great players.
I agree with you 100%. The one thing that I wish is that this was in the NFL and this could have been like a jet, and then, like, we can build on it. All these guys are gone next year. So he's got to, like, he gets in the lab with his coaches and then hopes he does it better with next year's freshman class. And you can't start them off where you fucking left off with these guys. So that is kind of the sucky thing about college sports. And we know I'm more of a pro guy for that exact reason, because you're kind of stuck with your crew and there's a little more movement and less movement in the same way. But, yeah, we'll see. Now we get to talk transfer talk. I mean, these KU fans have been talking transfer talk for 3 weeks.
That's all we've been able to talk about. What do you want us to talk about other than transfers when our team isn't even it's not even going. It's going.
We need
right
to be
now.
talking about the
We
truth.
got Badunga. We got Badunga back. That's the best.
We need to be talking about the truth. And that's
What's the truth, Kyle?
His name is Darren Peterson. He's the truth. You know what? I told PC this. You know what Darren Peterson is? He's what Bill Self thought DeJuan Harris was in his brain, in his made-up brain. He thought DeJuan Harris was like dunking and hitting threes and scoring points and passing and doing all this stuff in his brain. In reality, we were like, bro, he just turned the ball over for the 5th time in like 3 possessions. How is that even possible? He can't. There's not even enough possessions to turn the ball over 5 times. He just missed his 7th free of the game. Hey, but 3-and-D guys.
Yeah, there's some good pickups. We'll talk transfer more next week here. I mean, we gotta keep this kind of moving.
April 7th, is that the date? That's when like the date is where it's like, okay, everyone's going, everyone's getting there. They're all
April 8th is going to be the time when everybody's going to really start focusing. The national championship is tomorrow night on the 7th, so I feel like no one's going to talk about the transfer portal tomorrow. So the 8th. I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
I
'cause it's
won't.
gonna
I
be a
will
great
not
game.
be
It's gonna
watching
an
it.
awesome
I will
game.
be at a
It's
concert.
a phenomenal game. Phenomenal
What
game. I'm
concert?
totally gonna watch it.
Billy Joel.
No, I'm going to
Taylor
the
Swift.
lead singer of Surfaces, Forrest Frank.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's actually pretty good.
There you go.
So-
Me and my
Yeah.
fiance are. I'll
Just
be.
the singer from Surface.
Well, he's a big guy now. He's his own dude now. He does some stuff with Surfaces once in a while. They
Yeah.
don't tour.
I like
though.
the idea of him, and then like there's a big backdrop behind him. And it says,
I'm gonna play "Take It Easy."
He definitely will play Surface's songs.
He will
too.
not. I don't think he will. But if he does, I will be so excited. I will be jumping up and down because he's got his own. He's got his own bunch of songs that.
Yeah,
people-
100%.
The whitest sports podcast in America,
I'm talking about Forrest on our
other
sports
than
podcast.
Outkick the Coverage.
Wow.
Let's look. Let's
about-
do real
They got
quick.
Jason Whitlock.
I was gonna say about Jason
No,
Whitlock.
that doesn't count. That's like saying.
Yeah, what do
that's
you
like
think
saying
about that?
Prager University is Candace Owens.
Let's just do quick. I
Cut me
know.
off. Cut me off.
Yeah, we need to cut you off sometimes. Sometimes say some things that we should think it is demonetized. We gotta
Give
keep
him a
you-
censor button.
Yeah, we need a control mute button for him and for K-Stell at the same time. They
Maybe the
both-
Browns question mark. Kyle, wait, what kind of admin are you? That's what. So
Let's-
this is our comment section right now. Where does Shador go? Question mark from Jess. Dudes in sports comment maybe the Browns question mark.
I'll tell you what. Once he
Great
goes,
fan
once
interaction
he
here
goes to the
from
once,
our moderator from K-Stell. We might as well
Hey,
play him
someone's
behind
got to answer
camera
the
at
question,
this point.
man.
Where
He's
can
really
you
good at
go?
this behind-the-scenes
Giants,
stuff.
I think I talked about the Giants. I don't really like the Giants fit. Jets, I don't really like the Jets fit as a Jets fan.
Raiders.
I mean, if I get stuck with Justin Fields and Shador Sanders, like some of my least favorite quarterbacking prospects of the last couple of years. Let's talk about that real quick. Nick Howard sent me this quote from Woody Johnson, which I absolutely cannot believe.
reverse NFL.
He says it was between Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence in the 2021 class. We had the
If it
second
wasn't
pick,
Trevor
we
Lawrence, it
drafted
was Justin
Zach
Fields.
Wilson. We drafted Zach Wilson. So what do you mean? What do you mean? You're saying that we picked a guy and we didn't like him as much as another guy available? So that totally just fucks up
You dupe
everything.
Woody Johnson has duped P4 into being such a super fan of Zach Wilson, and he never wanted him in the first place.
Dude, it's... Yeah, like, what the fuck is the thought process behind that? And then he talked about how he got the F grade in the thing, and he's like, I don't believe that. You can't
Disagree
listen
with
to the
that.
voice. Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't want this guy. We didn't want him at
Aaron
all.
Rodgers didn't make that firing. I did.
yeah,
Fucking goof.
it is the Trump, like, no one said that. And then it's like a billion comment. But he's just like, I can only talk about what I see. And if I just close my eyes and go la 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 when every time someone says anything bad about me, then no one can say anything bad about me.
That's what I
I'm
do with the
best at it.
Royals.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Wood
constant
Jr.
logic
struck
right
out 3
there.
times a day. La, 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 la.
Mark Vientos, he's hot again.
Stop. Wait.
We'll get to baseball. You guys keep jumping around to sports, like all over the place, like always. This is the Dudes Sports Podcast where we have a direction, but we don't have a direction.
We
just
really
kinda-
like sports, man. We just
we
really
just
like
talk-
them.
we just talk about
like the sports.
I just really like that a lot. Let's do quickly national championship prediction. Who you just say real quickly who you think's gonna win. I'm gonna take it real short. I know P4 doesn't care, but you know what? We're a sports podcast. We're a sports podcast, not a Duke and Mets and Jets podcast. We are a sports podcast.
Oh,
Coming up this summer, the Mets and Duke and Jets podcast,
No,
hosted
it's-
by the Man LS.
Bring your tissues, folks. Bring your tissues.
Yeah, it's gonna be a terrible view. I'll start off my national championship prediction here. Obviously, defense, offense again. We get, Florida's offense wasn't as ranked as high as Duke's was. Obviously, they do have the clutch factor in Walter Clayton Jr. But if Houston can lock down Duke, I think Houston can lock down Florida. I'm not
Duke
rooting.
doesn't have any really scoring guards, though. I haven't.
That is true. Yeah, and there's some bigs
And
that
that's
could
what
be
I
a
was
real
saying,
big
like,
Proctor
factor.
wasn't
talked,
much.
in the Dudes
Proctor did not
group
play
chat.
very well.
No, he did not, and maybe that's a point against what I'm saying right now. But we were talking, and guards kind of do pretty good against Duke, and then Duke has like a lot of forward scoring, so Houston's gonna have a different game plan. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna have to lock down a lot more. Yeah, because they can't just we're gonna just clog the paint with that. They're gonna have to. They have a lot of guys they gotta guard. It's gonna be real difficult. But I think
he did the fucking spin, and Nick Howard was commentating it as he was doing it, and I was not very happy.
I'm gonna take the Cougars to win their first NCAA
He's
champion.
left-handed. Why is he driving left? They'll never see this one coming. You know the basket's over here. Whoa!
I got Houston. Main man for Rail West. Who do you got in this riveting national championship that you're going to watch every minute of?
Oh, man. I mean, we already kind of tied for third, even though we beat Auburn, so I'll take outright third. Should I go for true second because we didn't play Florida and just hope Houston wins? And say, well, the real national championship was the semifinal.
You can do it that way.
Yeah, let's say that.
Real
Houston
national championship was in the
blows
first
out Florida.
round.
Yeah, what? Between Arkansas and
Kansas and Arkansas.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah, let's say Houston blows out Florida since Duke already has the win over Auburn. Revisionist history, I can say the real national championship is in the semis. Even though I like Walter. Walter's my favorite player remaining in this.
He's so fun to watch. Oh, so we got two Houstons. Let's go K-Stout. Are you picking Houston too, or are you going to go with the Florida Gators?
I think I'm going to stick with my bracket that is at 98.8 percentage points correct. I was only wrong with Michigan State because I didn't believe that all number ones were going to get there, even though we've seen a lot of good number ones throughout the years. It's still very rare. I remember the last time that happened, Mario Chalmers. But I do have my championship correct, Houston and Florida. I will pick my winner, which is Florida. The reason why, it's no hate against Houston. I do think Houston can win this game. But one of the things that Houston, doesn't have, and they do, fill this in with their defense, which is crazy. Never seen a team actually do that and make a championship game, truly. Is their offense. LJ Cryer and Roberts is their offense. Maybe Sharp, but he's not really that sharp.
Milos, who's on too, can be.
Yeah, they
Kyle
could show up.
A big reaction to what he just
No,
said.
I didn't. No, I didn't. No. I swear.
Say it again.
Dude, no. Anyways.
Say it again.
What?
Please.
What I think that this... Stop. No, I'm not. One of the things that Duke does not have that Florida does have is depth. A lot of depth. A lot of good
Spencer
depth.
Hubbard!
No, I'm sorry. I know you have better depth than most teams in the nation, but Florida, the reason they're good is because when their players get tired and need a break, they just bring in somebody who could probably play on KU right now. That's how good their depth is. Their depth is crazy. They have a bunch of tall dudes. They have guards that can score really well. And I think that if Florida just has a little bit of magic in them, I think they can finally get past that Houston just maniac defense. It's going to be close. This is not a blowout. This will not be a Florida. We knew Florida was going to do it. Houston can absolutely win this game. In fact, they might be favored. The line may come out and be goofy, but in reality, a lot of people are going to go, listen, this Houston team can do things to teams that is impossible. We've never seen it happen. I do think Florida's starting five is just really just too athletic, especially when they played against a Dan Hurley team who wasn't as good. Their defense was solid. Some of the best coaching they'll see this playoffs. Kelvin Sampson is not an offensive mind whatsoever. He's just not. It's basically get it to Roberts, get it to Cryer, that's it. Other guys get your shots. I think Golden is a good coach. He's definitely not at the level of the other, like Dan Hurley's and Bill Self's, Tom Izzo's, those guys who just have the IQ of, John Wooden. But I just think Clayton Jr. is just too much of a hack. It's like a video game hack. It simply doesn't make sense. The ball just goes in the basket for him. And I don't think Cryer can get there. He'll have a good game, maybe. But unless Cryer's scoring 25, 30, and Roberts is scoring 15, 20, Sharp is scoring 10, 15, and the other guys are. It's going to be a high-scoring game. That's just,
175 points for Houston.
It's a high-scoring game. That's what they do. They score a lot of points. A lot of points.
68 or something.
A lot.
Yeah,
like 80-point game. This is going to be.
Correct me again. See how long this fucking podcast is.
It'll still go on even if you leave. That's the problem. So yeah.
That is a big problem for you guys.
I just have. I think,
oh, dog!
I think
Our viewers went down by one.
Florida's offense is way too good right now, and I think their defense is just slightly better than Duke's, just because of their overall athleticism they have on the team. It's not like pretty, but it'll work enough for the offense that Houston has. So Florida Gators, congratulations. You're winning your 3rd title in 20 years? Is that right?
Yeah, 20 years, yeah, because they went back to back.
It's a good stat right there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So we got 2 for Houston, 1 for Florida. Howard, are you going to be a tie, or are you going to jump on the Houston wagon over here with probably the 2 best analysts besides yourself on the Dude Sports Podcast? Or are you going to go with the clown, the 10-day contract guy, Kisnell?
The clown that, by the way, has the best bracket in this entire 4 groups. So let's just.
And when you only pick chalk, of course you're going to win.
It's
Well,
right.
congrats, yeah, Kyle. Not picking the Cinderellas. No one remembers Cinderellas.
Cinderella
I
ball?
think that she did actually.
I lost
She
my
went to
heel.
the bowl. Anyways,
Whoa!
anyways,
Very cerebral podcast tonight.
she went to nice. Yeah, I've been talking about Cinderella like it's LeBron James.
Sorry, let me.
Houston. Thank you. Houston, I didn't even get to talk about in like the Duke matchup preview, but like at the same time, there's almost not a lot to talk about from where we went last night besides just wow. And the fact that, I mean, I was like P4 mentioned, sitting with P4, and he like at the end of the game, it just kind of happened, and he was just like, "Oh fuck, we lost." Like it was just kind of like a thing out of the blue that was like 11-point lead for Duke. It was 14, I think, with 9 minutes or 8 minutes remaining, and yeah, I mean the fact they only made 1 basket in that time. There was the front ends, 1-and-1s missed. Malawak had a -20. Apparently, he was like responsible for 20 points when he was on the floor last night. He did not play well, but he's a good player. That's not what I'm saying in that department. Houston, I think, is just ridiculous. I mean, literally last night, you cannot play them. It was the same thing as the earlier game that you guys probably witnessed against KU, where like it was the last 6 seconds of the game, and then all of a sudden, or
Don't
however
bring
long
it
they
up.
Had to get a little
Did
P4's pain.
DeJuan Harris cause all this? Is that
Had
the
to get a
butterfly
little-
effect? DeJuan Harris. Just
Yeah,
not
pretty
making
much.
that.
He is involved.
You know,
in
I don't
everything.
need to make this free throw. Oh! Now they're in the championship playing the Florida Gators. What did you do?
But the Houston Cougars are just crazy this year. I know I've talked a lot about Florida and how they've impressed me literally every other game, but I've also caught myself saying, if Walter Clayton wasn't having this crazy performance, or if he wasn't doing this, then Florida would be in trouble, And like that's kind of the case where, like, yeah, sure, obviously the star player is going to help them in that department win the game, but at the same time, if Walter Clayton isn't on his A game, we haven't seen that Florida yet. And not saying that it will happen this game where Walter Clayton's going to go bad. I could easily see him putting another 30 on, and even a big performance just overall, like Villanova with Dante DiVincenzo. He's making all sorts of threes, and they just ran away with the game. I can see that with this one, but in reality, I just think that this Cougars team is definitely something that is not going to have their gas or foot off the gas pedal at any point, and I think that they are just one of the amazing, most insane rebounding teams I think I've ever seen. I mean, there was something when like a miss happened last night. I swear a Houston player was almost always closest to the ball. they were never out of the game for that reason specifically, and limiting those kind of turn of the tide moments. I think Houston is just relentless in that department. I know Florida's actually like probably the second best rebounding team in this tournament, so that's going to be a fun thing to watch down low in the paint. But I think in the end of it, Houston is just something. You can't slack off at any point, and I think there's sometimes Florida will have a little bit of a cold burst, especially when Clayton Jr. is off the floor or he's kind of gassed and they're making plays like Duke was last night when they were really tired, and Houston just seemed completely conditioned, ready to go. Sometimes that can be bad, sometimes that can be good, and I think we saw a bit of both from Houston last night and how it could be bad, but I don't think their negatives like even come close to how strong their positives are for their team. So I think it'll be a tough one. Florida's no step over, obviously. They haven't been one all tournament, even when Walter Clayton is not doing the heavy lifting for them. So I think it'll be a good game regardless, but Houston not coming out with this would shock me, truthfully, more than the opposite.
Yeah, so we got 3 for Houston here, and then the lone Florida Gator, but that's all good there. K-Stel. So that's going to kind of wrap up our college basketball here next week for a little bit. Howard and I actually did an article at the very beginning of the year with our top 10. We'll go through that, and you guys can kind of make fun of how badly we did. KU's up there on both of our lists. And
I'm proud of mine. I will say I'm proud of
mine was yeah, that's just how it goes. I'm supposed to be the college basketball guy, and yeah, we're gonna just make fun of it. So that'll be next year, part of our big video next week. We'll get into that at the very end of the podcast. But let's go from basketball in the courts to UFC and the Octagon. We had a really great fight here. We had Leon Murphy and Josh Emmett in the main card, and P4's got that card for us here, and let him take it away with, honestly, a pretty decent fight night, if I do want to say myself.
Yep, good fights this weekend. It was in the Apex, but a lot to talk about. A lot of good women's fights as well. I know that this podcast has maybe not been the kindest to women's UFC, especially when we talk about it every week and we have to talk about these 7 and 9 bantamweights who are still ranked in the top 10, and we're like, what the fuck, man? But some good women's fights. Taliata Alinkar beats Vanessa from the States. It was a pick'em before the fight. It was a unanimous decision at the end. Right here, a lot more strikes. I mean, what are you going to do there? 4 of 5 on takedowns, 107 to 34 strikes, had a submission attempt, and 45 significant strikes to 10. So, congratulations to Talita. Martin Buday versus Uran Satibalidev. Now, heavyweight bout, Martin Buday, he ended up weighing in just at the heavyweight limit, 266 pounds. Uran weighed in at 222.6 or something like that.
That was his debut in the UFC, right?
It was, and he was 9-0. And you know what? I thought he looked good. Martin kind of just death by 1,000 paper cuts, as we talk about. Significant strikes, 58 to 36. But if you look, 36 significant strikes out of 45 total strikes. It's a pretty high clip right there.
He actually hit him a lot. Like, it wasn't like he was just throwing.
And then, 58 out of 142. I mean, not even close to the same. But, those are the breaks. First round, second round, third round. I mean, what are you going to do? Unanimous decision. He was 9-0, now he's 9-1. Still a good heavyweight prospect. I mean, anything can happen at these heavyweight fights. Would have liked to seen maybe a little bit more power. I know we saw a lot of significant strikes, but you're telling me you're a heavyweight, you had 36 significant strikes and you didn't knock the guy out. So maybe that's something to talk about. But good fight overall right there. Victor Henry, he got a unanimous decision over Pedro Falco. Whoops. Easy, Mr. Falco. This one was a little bit closer. You kind of had your Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy versus your United States kind of wrestler striker guy. God, he's bald with long hair. It looks like that's a wig. It's so crazy. Poor guy. A couple reversals, significant strikes, but yeah, not a whole bunch to talk about in this fight. Look on me. The leg punching bout. Nick Howard, would you like to expand on this?
Yeah, that was a domination, actually. I did know she did do pretty good, but there was at least like that second
Hey,
round or something where,
don't
they
tell
were just
Estella
on the
that.
ground.
Estella was convinced at the end of the fight that she was
Yeah,
the winner.
Estella was absolutely baffled that her like 5 punches thrown for every like 50 from Luke Bun-mi was not the winner. But yeah, this one was like the second round. They were just like tangled up
More
on the ground,
significant
just
strikes. Wow.
hitting each other's legs. Really? Huh.
According to this, interesting. But what constitutes a football move? What constitutes
Yeah,
a significant
what is a
strike?
significant
What
strike
constitutes
then?
intent? The more we talk about this shit, we'll just end up talking in circles. But
And
yeah,
then
continue
the
to-
CIA.
the grassy knoll, man. So look on me with a good win, unanimous decision. Working our way up, like crazy favorite too, minus 950. Whoa. Then we go up to the welterweight, Reese McKee with the quick TKO, doctor stoppage. Now Danielle Fruenza may have even been winning on the card. I don't know. He was fucked up. Let's just put it that way. He was a guy, closed eye. He had a big cut under the eye.
nose,
purple eye.
yeah, he
It
was
was
pretty messed
bad.
up, yeah.
It was rough. It was a
Fast.
good doctor stoppage. But he was kind of whooping him, and he still wanted to fight. And I know all these guys.
It was
are
a good
tough guys that
trade.
wanna
It
fight.
was a good trade going on, but he was definitely getting the worst
Yeah.
of it, and I think that's just it happens in
the will
trade-offs.
of man and the body's limits is the conversation there. Obviously, I don't think he's gonna be cut, or this isn't gonna affect his stock
Nah.
too much.
looked-
But
he looked
one of
good.
the few Romanian fighters on the card. But Reese McKee, congratulations. I mean, he obviously killed it as well. So, yeah, just no really bad came out of that fight, barring a significant injury to Daniel. We wish him the best. Diana versus Dione Barbosa submitted her in the first round. Another heavy favorite
Another
in the women's
finish.
division. Yeah, and this is a good fight right here. We watched this one as well. Submission attempt, takedown. I mean, it was quick, 23-35. These ladies were throwing early in this first round. Significant strikes, 20-27. Another high clip. 23 total strikes, 20 significant. But the jiu-jitsu master, the Brazilian, ends up with the takedown and the submission real fast. I believe it was an armbar, but she kind of had him in a triangle. Then, okay, this is an interesting fight.
Yeah.
And if any of our UFC fans also talk or also listen to MMA Guru, you'll know what he said. Torres Finney did win the fight. But every time, I mean, it was a good game plan. What do you want him to do? I mean,
These guys weigh
If-
the same.
yeah, 5'7" to 6'2". Or
Okay,
5'8",
that makes.
I guess was his
I guess that
official.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty big difference.
Torres Finney is insane, dude.
You look
He
at his
doesn't have
look at
any
his
neck.
traps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look at his-
man.
Look at his
He's
arms.
got massive upper body strength. That's that
But
was
he's a
shown for sure in
middleweight?
the
Big-
fight.
he got big legs too.
He's
I
got
mean-
big everything.
Whoa.
You took it out of context.
Clip that. Clip it right there. No context, Kyle.
I'm the producer, so I ain't clipping.
Oh, I can't get on CapCut and go and cut a YouTube video. Oh no, he's the producer.
Jeepers creepers. Robert Valentin, he was a better striker. I think he's probably the better prospect, the better fighter. But Torres Finney won this
He
fight.
has more versatility.
Yeah, 100%. Torres Finney, I mean, what are you going to do? He's a brick fucking shithouse. If he puts his head in your chest and runs you to the cage and then picks you up on his shoulder and then dumps you and then just does a little bit of ground and pound, he doesn't even have to be that good at anything. He could do that. And to knock a guy for being good at what he's good at, that's like being mad at Anderson Silva because he has crazy kicks and stuff. Like, is he going to win a title doing that? Is he going to beat Paulo Costa doing that? Maybe. I mean, may fucking be. Now, he may also get knocked out in fucking ridiculous fashion one time. But now, officially, he's a UFC fighter. I don't think Dana should let his fucking feelings get into it. If you're winning fights and you can do a thing that other people can't do, I mean, congratulations. R.A. Dickey won a fucking Cy Young throwing a knuckleball. I mean, what are we talking about here, right? I mean, if you could do it, then let him do it. But yeah, I wouldn't want to fight either of these guys. Like, I don't know what the argument is. It's like they're mad that the guy's so good at, like, a boring thing. Beats me. I like him. But Robert Valentin, also a good fighter. I mean, he had some crazy elbows. He was very, very loose in the cage, kind of like a typical fighter.
It didn't look like Torres was fighting a can for sure.
No.
Even though he had a lot of control in this. Like, yeah, Robert looked good in this.
Which maybe even talks more to Torres. Maybe I've talked myself more into Torres now. O'Day Osborne should not have won this fight. He looked ridiculous. He probably still
You got a bonus. You got a bonus.
Performance of the night.
Good
What a
bonus.
good ball. Yeah, he was losing every part of this fight, and Nick Howard take it away from there.
He just used his hand, started swinging, then all of a sudden caught him one time. That's all it is in combat sports. Just on the ground, ground and pound. Got the dub, his first dub in what, 4 fights or 3 fights?
Yeah, he was on a 3-fight losing streak, but then he won one before that, and he lost his one before that. So he's lost.
It was a rough
Out
path
of
looking
6.
for him, but yep, he ended up getting the dub and the performance of the night.
GFL
couldn't be happy
event
for a
in
guy.
May. Look out for O'Day Osborne to get signed to that.
He got his bag, man.
50K is nice. It's so crazy. I mean, 50K fight of the night, and he got probably 25 and 25 for showing up. So he walked out with 75 or 100K on the night. This guy walked out with 25K. And then they got to do the taxes. Then they got to do the trainer, the camp, the this. That's what they're living off of. And then hope he can do it in 3 months. He's probably going to get cut. Pay these
And
fucking
yeah,
guys,
like
Dana.
hoping he can bring his team to the next
Yeah.
fight if he loses. Jack Del Maddalena, which is
And then
insane, by the way.
imagine being a guy who knocks other guys out, and he's like, I got a Sonata. Like,
Yeah.
I should be walking around in fucking chains and jewelry and fucking 2 bodyguards and fucking Escalades. Not Escalade, plural. I should have Escalades every time I roll anywhere.
Show
Instead,
up to
it's
the
like,
next press conference in jeans and a golf hat.
my daughter goes to public school, for Christ's sake. Like, what the fuck? It's so crazy. Next fight, middleweight bout was Brad Tavares versus Mirashad. Brad Tavares with the win. Mirashad, I mean, the stash is on 11, man.
Tavares in the Apex is another beast, man.
Oh,
I
dude,
feel like it's
he's-
his home away from home. He's just
He's
always
always-
fighting. Dana's like, he's like, please just give me one event. I'll be on an early prelim. Dana's like, dude, I just gotta put you on the Apex. I'm pretty sure he's had at least like 4 of his last 5 be in the
Is
Apex.
it going to say what the fight card is? Okay, Tavares versus Park. Fight card. Apex.
In the Apex.
Okay,
That's
the
one.
fight before that, Rodriguez. Or TKO. Apex.
In the Apex. I'm telling you, dude. He
Last 3
is
fights
just
of the-
always.
Chris
getting-
Weidman towards the end. Okay, that was TD Garden.
Okay, so he did have TV
feature
on that.
prelim,
And he
the
won!
feature
He
prelim.
won!
Okay, he beat a 40-year-old Chris Weidman.
Guy beat Chris Weidman, yeah.
He won the
That's not-
prelim, and
then
they sent
Duplessis.
him back to the Apex.
Duplessis. He lost.
Wow.
the prelim.
Okay. Okay.
Not even a-
So maybe
oh,
not
this is a
all it, but
crazy
yeah, he's
card right here. You
that
know
is
what?
kind of an absurd card.
What was this? 276? I think since 2021. No, that would have been post Apex. I was gonna say maybe every card since the Apex's inception. But congratulations to him. Brad Tavares. Look forward to him at your next
Oof.
Apex card.
Yeah, most likely.
No, not this one either. Jesus.
I was about to say you're gonna skip.
Chango Lee, KO.
This is pretty brutal,
Cortovius
honestly.
Ramonius. Yeah, this one we kind of weren't chatting about too much. I mean, it was a good KO.
They had to stop it because he got his eye hurt. He was hurt in some way, Lee. I do remember that. And then all of a sudden I remember at the end just Romeus getting pounded on.
I
But
think Romeus had a couple groin shots during the fight too.
oh, yeah. That's absolutely right. It was a groin shot, and they were checking him. That's right.
I don't know. Unranked bantamweights on the fucking main card. Like, what are we doing? Pat Sabatini, he beat Joe Anderson Brito. It was a
He
unanimous
dominated
decision.
him the next two rounds, yeah. The first round, Brito showed up, but the rest of the fight, it didn't even look like Brito wanted to be there.
Yeah, it looks like he had a sub attempt at the end of the fight, but Pat Sabatini going up the ranks in the featherweight division, and then Josh Allen versus Lerone Murphy. Sabatini, Chango Lee. After the Brad Tavares fight, that's when like the Duke game started, I think. So no.
I
Duke
did
would've
watch
started
highlights.
earlier.
I did my homework on this, so
Yeah.
I maybe could say a little more about the main event than you. But I know
Josh
you're
Emmett,
shocked by it.
yeah. Josh Emmett. I had Josh Emmett. No stats.
That is interesting, especially in this kind of fight, because it's pretty. I'd say, at least according to Reddit, it's pretty controversial what people are thinking about this. But I don't know. I didn't see it as like a fight that should be controversial, in my opinion.
So get into it. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a very odd fight for Emmett. I
41
could feel
significant strike,
because
44 total strike, but 84 out of
yeah, I was more disappointed with Emmett in this than I was impressed from his side. Murphy, I didn't really see a whole lot, sure, and that's kind of the drawback, I guess, is his fight game really isn't complex and stuff, but it's like if he's winning and he's getting these kicks in, like what are you going to do about it, you know? And I think that's what we saw in this one against Emmett. Emmett just really had a highlight of him that's gone around on Twitter a bit. He just picks up Lerone and just like chucks him over his head and all that stuff in like the middle of the fight. That was kind of crazy. But overall, Murphy was just lighting Emmett up with body kicks like the entire time, especially around like the third round, I think. Like Murphy was just doing body kick, leg kick, body kick, and he was doing a pretty good job with that. And I know like that's pretty much where it came in. That's pretty much where it got like the most exciting, in my opinion, in the main event was like the body kicks. But I thought he was doing a pretty good job there. I've obviously seen a lot worse in the UFC, but yeah, Emmett just didn't really show up with like a game plan that we're used to him really seeing, just kind of going feet to feet, throwing hands and stuff. Like he was more just kind of like up against the cage and trying to tame Murphy when Murphy was trying to really like get his shots in but not really be anything too dangerous. And Emmett just for some reason seemed like he was afraid to get knocked out the entire time is what it looked like. And yeah, these cards, a couple of them close. It wasn't an ass whooping, I would say, by Murphy. It was just really not a thrilling fight from Emmett. And I think that Murphy, it's, you know, if you want to say he
So what
reminds
was
you of Leon
unanimous?
Edwards.
Josh Emmett won the first unanimously. Josh Emmett won.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean-
because he had control in that round, and Murphy was trying to feel him out. And then I'd say by the third round, he was like,
I mean, this is
I
fourth
don't
row,
agree
third.
with, yeah, Murphy didn't get, I don't agree with the third being Emmett. I don't understand that one, I guess, because he had that hip toss maybe over him, or he threw him over his shoulder in the third maybe. Other than that, though, I mean, yeah, the
Sal
rest of
was
the
drunk
fight.
off his ass by the fifth round, so he wasn't paying attention to what he.
He was ready to go home. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a thrilling fight, and like I was gonna say, like if people could see that he is like reminds him of Leon Edwards. I wouldn't argue with you, and he doesn't have the most thrilling style, but he is a good fighter. He did throw a lot of good body kicks, I thought, was just in the fight and was doing enough to kind of keep his distance, which is what Emmett was kind of like, I guess, worried about, kind of going and attacking him or something, getting counter-attacked, counter-striked. I don't know, but overall, I thought Murphy did pretty good in this fight, and even though people have a controversial thinking some Emmett got robbed, I just didn't see that at all, and I'm excited to see what the next fight for Murphy is, because I know he doesn't give us a lot, but he's good enough to at least be against good competitors, you know.
Right here.
Qatar. Huh.
Calvin Kattar versus
Cater.
Murphy. That's what I
Okay.
like. 14, somewhere in the range. I mean, 16-0-1. So at what point
He should be
do you
fighting
put this
ranked
guy against
opponents
ranked?
for sure.
Yeah. And Ige, I mean, I think Ige is 6-1.
He beat Ige, didn't he? Unless I'm tripping.
Yes.
Yes, he did beat Ige.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was his last fight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So that would make sense to put him against Kattar. Maybe Yusuf, but I think Yusuf is signed to fight somebody. But yeah, he just beat Kattar. So, anything else going on? Oh well, maybe we should talk about 314 before we start getting into the rankings.
314.
Yeah, that does it for the card. It was a good card. Obviously, my mind was elsewhere towards the end. But Torres Finney, I'm not saying he can do it all the time. I'm not saying that it's going to win him a championship, but I am saying that if someone has a thing that they're good at, you can't be mad at them for being good at it and trying it. So 314's coming up. That's next weekend. It's in Miami. And we got some ranked women's bouts. We have Tresean Gore. We have a Chinese fighter with one name. We have Dumas from the States versus Olachevsky on the early prelims. That'll be a good fight. Chase Hooper! Yay, Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. Jim Miller, you're still fighting? Holy shit, man.
This is a frat dude against a bar regular.
So old.
Jim Miller, yeah. You're in my seat. 6'1" to 5'8". Yeah, this will be an interesting fight. Expect a lot of submission attempts in this fight, is what I'm imagining. Is these guys are going to go in. I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Miller starts butt scooting towards Chase Hooper. Just make it a total fucking grappling match. Yan Zhaojing versus Verna.
She got a main at the Apex, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Just a face you'll never forget. And
eyes. You can't even get away from them.
Don't, Kyle. Stop. And, yep, so number one ranked women's strawweight is fighting on the prelims. Dan Ige's fighting Sean Woodson. So,
Speaking
we'll see what
of the
happens
devil.
there. Yeah, Dan Ige's pretty cool. Yair, he's getting a fight against Patricio Pitbull. Making his debut.
No face.
The unction.
The
unction.
Dominic Reyes, nice.
Oh,
Dominic
what's that one
Reyes.
right up there? Featherweight.
Uh-oh.
That'll be a
I was
hell
paying
of a
attention.
fight.
I can't wait. Bryce Mitchell's a good jiu-jitsu guy. I know Nick Howard just totally writes off any Nazi in his head, which I don't get. But,
Shocker.
Really?
Oh no, he doesn't like the Nazi. Oh no.
but Bryce Mitchell is a good grappler. He's a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I'm excited to see this fight. I saw Gene Silva live, dude. Gene Silva's a fucking killer, man. Fighting
Gene
nerds.
Silva is horrifying, man. Apparently, especially being a part of the Fighting Nerds. He is. Him,
If he
Roofy,
wasn't a
like
part
you
of the
go on
Fighting Nerds,
account.
he would just be public enemy number one in the streets of Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what level of crazy person this guy
He is just so insane that everyone is like, oh, okay, Fighting Nerds. Okay, yeah, he's cool. Because, like, anything else
Because
is like,
Varel
what
just
the
holds
fuck?
on to him like a fucking chihuahua barking at the door. and he just getting big old brow. He's like, no, G. Dude.
I mean, against Dober, one of the bloodiest fights I seen, he just licked his glove and was just like going right back into the fight. I was like, what sane human is just like not like even
Bryce
like
Mitchell
forcing
has one of
it
the
or
only
something.
twister submissions in UFC history. So
There's me and P4's perspective this fight.
hey, Gene Silva's good. 5'7" versus 5'10". What's the reach advantage? 1 inch reach advantage, 3.5 inch leg reach. I'm going with the vet Bryce Mitchell. Camo shorts. Then another good fight, Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. I really don't care about this one. I hate Michael Chandler. I don't really care for Paddy Pimblett. PC, you're a big Paddy guy.
The body.
Patty, yeah, I mean, I like Patty, I guess. I just like anybody that kind of does, like, that makes it more of a show than, like, it's not just all, like, he may not be the best fighter, but he's got a ton.
segments next.
Yeah, no, we aren't even talking about that, but
Let's do it.
he puts on a show.
Yeah, so I don't know who I like in this one. Guesses? You send it to you guys. Kyle, who do you think's going to
Potty the body.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with the old Brit, Britty boy Paddy, Danny boy. I think I just like the youngster getting in for Michael, getting it on. Leg reach is gonna be there. I think he needs a win back.
Clip it, no context.
What did I say? I really don't know. And I don't want to.
You'll know.
Like he's
Get
got
on!
the information in front of him. Like, leg reach is a big factor in the fight, and
Why am I deciding
The
who
youth.
this is on? I think the youth is there. I think he deserves a win. I think he needs
deserves
it.
it.
I don't
Mind of a
know.
referee.
Deserves to win.
That is
Inside the
not.
mind of a
No.
referee.
This
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
me
yeah.
trying to get.
Deserves the rib. Clip it, no context.
NCAA Final Four.
The aura is
I
just
never-
much better in
never-
this one.
I never
for so
said that.
long. Cooper Flag
I ne-
can't win it his first year.
Why did this get? What happened here? Why did I turn this into?
This would be like me wanting in like in-depth and analytical analysis from P4 over the Real Madrid matchup coming up.
Vinny, very fast.
They
So
kicked
is
the
Rucker.
ball. Very good.
The
Very
ball's
fast.
Kicked
Very
the ball.
run.
I watched that one
Pep Guardiola. What's his name? The
Pep
bald guy.
Guardiola. It was, I watched a documentary on him. It was on that. Take the boat, pass the boat, take the boat, pass the boat. And then a guy who looks like Luis Scola was in that too. Every time I see a Falcon player from
The
Europe, I
midget,
just think of
Messi.
Luis Scola. yeah. Whatever that guy is. All right, now the main event at 314, Alexander Volkanovski versus the number 3 contender Diego Lopez. They are fighting for the vacated 145 featherweight championship belt that Ilia Topuria had. We'll get into the Ilia Topuria stuff next, but
what an odd shape
God.
for that man. Like, am I the only one thinking this?
You just have a whole cult that is upset at you right
I
now.
don't really
God,
care.
I love when we bring Kyle
We
in.
know
Yeah,
it's
do you
got
not know
that
who that
Yeah.
is?
No,
Just get-
I do know who that is.
Even I know who
Let's
that is.
explain to this.
I've
guy.
never like looked at it like this though. To be honest, like this is a pretty bad angle for the brother.
This angle from this dude makes him look like a
His
thug.
photo should make him look much more manly.
That's
This
not
makes him
what I
look
said.
like a little girl.
That's not what I said. I just think it's just a
Kyle
bit.
breaks down the physical features
Go,
of the
bro,
fight
look.
because that's
He
like
doesn't have
all
a six pack.
he
He's not a good fighter.
That's
Doesn't have a
not
six
true.
pack.
That's
This
not
is like
true.
an old picture.
I never said that. I'm just saying if you go down, look at all the rest of the fighters, they look pretty similar. And then, we're going down looking, at their physique. Okay, what are we doing here? I mean, at least they have
You said
abs.
Pick one.
Yeah, and I know where you would go. You had to scroll up and down to see. That's just a frat guy. That's literally just Pete Cinco right there with a bunch of hair. That might be Andy Rogers.
Oh my god.
That wasn't a dig though. I just
No.
but the featherweight was just a bit off. Like it's featherweight and that looks
Such
like
great
me.
insight.
What? Featherweight? What was your analysis on featherweight?
That is a featherweight
that's
right there.
featherweight.
If there's
That's a
ever a guy
featherweight.
featherweight,
If that's a featherweight.
that's a featherweight male.
I know what a featherweight looks like, and that is a featherweight. It does say featherweight title bout, so he has to be a featherweight. Just because I looked at the
If
screen
he
and it
walks
says
like a featherweight
title.
and talks like a featherweight,
I don't know
gotta
why.
be a featherweight.
Listen, I'm not
Gotta
trying
be a
to.
featherweight.
I'm not trying to bully him. I'm just trying to make an observation that his physique looked a bit.
What
different.
about Lopez? What do we think about Lopez?
Well, Lopez
His
has
physique.
he has the Ouija board on his chest, so I don't know if I trust him.
No, it's not the Ouija board.
Well-
Dream, believe, and make it happen.
Well, you know what? From a distance, it looked like he was trying to put a little like
You got the Ouija
triangle
board
with a little.
A Brazilian who moved to Mexico.
That doesn't seem smart.
font. Look where he is now.
There's not many greater options. Would you rather have crime or crime?
And then come to America,
Well, there's more crime.
Detroit, USA.
I'm
Gotta
moving-
love the state of the world when it's
I'm-
not sports.
I'm
Do we
moving to
have
Tucson.
any other analysis
Cut.
on Alexander
No,
Volkanovski?
no,
being the
please,
favorite?
please move on. Please move on. Please
Go
move
Diego,
on.
go. Go Diego, go.
So, featherweight champion, this incorrectly says Ilya Tapora. Ilya has moved up to lightweight, fight 155, and he has said that the UFC has promised him a title fight. Kyle. Who was that? Islam, maybe he's moving up to welterweight, but him and Bilal are buddies. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these three fine gentlemen right here. And then Volkanovski versus Lopez is going to be a good fight for the championship there. I think that just about does it for the UFC.
That's good insights there on the UFC. Hopefully that card next week will be good. Then we'll take a week break, and then it'll be UFC KC, which I'm sure we'll get into at some point. So we're going from the octagon now to the baseball diamond. I'm sure K Stelt's got his rundown for you. Take it away there, champ.
Yeah, not too much to talk about. I'll just go over the standings real quick. I won't go through like every series.
For the second week in a row.
I went over the series because it was just 2 games, so it wasn't really. No, actually the series finished, so we got through like a Thursday. Yeah. Yankees are in the lead in the East. They are 2-1 in their series. They lost one to the D-backs, who look really good. Red Sox are kind of finding their footing defensively. Rafael Devers got a lot of help from Miles Michaelis. The Blue Jays are having an interesting situation. They just got swept by the Mets, though, so that doesn't help at all. They started off hot. Mets swept them and said, guys, this team is a bunch of garbage. Get them out of here. Rays are doing the best they can with very little talent, in my opinion.
Yeah,
They're-
now all these Yankees fans are going to do this bullshit where they're like, actually, it was a home run in 2 stadiums.
Yeah, but the Yankees don't deserve to say that because they literally made a bat for Volpe to hit a home run in a ballpark that goes 320 to right center or something crazy. Not actually.
Right field, I think it's not very far.
The Orioles, their pitching is just a bit of a struggle. They did kind of wax the Royals in the second game, but they did end up losing the series to the Royals.
3-14.
Tigers are playing well. They've been playing some poopies, though. So they just I think they just swept the White Sox, so that doesn't help.
Mariners.
They're at the top of the AL Central. Royals are 4-5. We assumed that the Brewers were going to be bad, and then their pitching showed up. Freddie Peralta was like, actually, I'm really good. I have a really good fastball. Hunter Renfroe is still on the baseball team. The only issue is that Jack Caglione still needs like 2 months to actually like get like actual good sample size to even make any sort of decision on anything.
MJ Melendez, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's getting a statue. The Twins, their pitching is garbage. I don't think they got anything to them. The Guardians bullpen is really struggling. They're 4th in the Central. their bullpen is going like downhill fast compared to last season. Which
Bobby Witt, league average hitter, OPS of 100.
all right, bro. Whatever. White Sox are 2-7. They started off hot. That's about it. Rangers are 8-2. That's pretty cool. We kind of saw this talent coming out of nowhere. Guess who's in second though? The Angels, team I liked. They're 6-3. They got a lot of just like similar dudes on the team that just kind of mash, and then Mike Trout's just sitting there.
And Kyron Paris or whatever, that dude teed off on the
dude,
Cardinals,
that guy's a stud.
Dude is Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, he
Reincarnated.
Yeah.
Like, that dude did not, I think, have like a game where he didn't have like a nutty hit against us.
It is pretty.
So
it's
yeah,
pretty
that
insane.
dude.
The Astros are just, they kind of do this thing where they like will probably lose a bit more games in the first part of the season, and then they just roll ahead. So I'm not really like super worried about them. The Athletics are 4-6. It's definitely a better start than they normally have. The Mariners are 3-7. Their hitting is just not anything good. NL East is the Phillies right now. I had the Phillies as a win the World Series or bust team, just because they've had a really good team for the past 3 or 4 years, and they've done nothing with it. And they're doing their job against the Dodgers. Did they get beat by the Dodgers today? No, they won. So they did end up slowing down that comeback the Dodgers had. Mets are 6-3. Good start for the Mets. Definitely need that. They need their morale up. Not saying it was bad, but they just need it up. They're hitting up. Their pitching is going to be interesting. We will see how it plays out the rest of the season. Marlins are above 500 for the first time in a million, actually just 2 years. But
Next series is against the Mets.
so they will be against the Mets. Mets will not have a super easy opponent, but it can be easy if the Marlins Marlin. Nationals
I
are
think the
3
Mets
and
beat the Marlins in their series earlier. This series that just happened against the Blue Jays was in between 2 Marlins series that we had.
oh really?
So we just played the Marlins, and I think it was a 2-1.
I thought Alcantara faced off against y'all, so yeah.
He
Yeah,
did,
the-
and then he got put on the paternity. He was supposed to pitch today, but the game was rained out.
Yeah, so 2-1
So,
split right there.
Then
for,
he was put on the paternity list because they don't want him to face the Mets twice in a week, which makes sense. I mean, right? That's the other thing that baseball doesn't really consider. I know Billy Beane doesn't care about righty-lefty matchups, but if a fucking lineup sees the same pitcher twice in a week, then they're probably gonna whoop them.
It's not good, yeah, especially when we got iPads now.
Nationals are 3-6. They're probably doing the best they can with the youngsters. Braves are 1-8. They won their first game. When? Today. Oh no,
Can we
yesterday.
talk about
They
our
won
buddy
yesterday.
Yurix and Profar
Uh,
and the secret medical treatments that Fernando Tatis and his father used?
no, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to. The dude cheated. So what? That sucks. Cubs are 7-5 in the Central. Boo. We don't want that. But Kyle Tucker is a beast. Brewers are 5-5. They've come back and kind of gotten themselves back up to where they need to be.
They face the damn Reds.
They did. The Reds are just. Ugh. The Brewers are made up of a bunch of Kyle Isbells and just Churio and Yelich and Contreras when he wants to show up. Cardinals are 4-5. I do remember saying that their lineup did look kind of nutty for a team that is expecting not to win a lot
Ron
of
Herrera,
games.
one of the best players in baseball.
Their pitching,
are saying.
though, is interesting. They did get belt to ass today. I guess Michaelis and the other guy that you threw in that gave up 7 earned runs.
Gordon Graceffo.
Yeah,
Took a picture with Duke Deuce
He
for all
did.
the people of lore out there.
he did. He did. The Reds are 3-7. Their offense is just not even alive right now. And the Pirates are just a poverty franchise. They did walk off the Yankees today. Tommy Pham, Royals legend. Giants are 8-1 to start the season. Pretty good start for the Giants. It's surprising to me a bit. But the problem is the Dodgers are 9-2. That's really good. but they're also the Dodgers. The Padres are 8-2. That's also really good. The Diamondbacks are 5-5, which is shocking. Who did they lose to? Oh, they lost to the Nationals.
Cubs
They
and
lost
Dodgers.
a series. They lost to a series to the Nationals and the Cubs. That doesn't bode you well if you're losing a series to the Nationals. And the Rockies are 2-7. They might be the worst team in baseball.
They have not even looked bad. Like, their pitching, dude, Dollander looks
Their pitching
good.
will probably be a lot better than people think it'll be.
I
but
don't think they're going to be the worst in baseball, but
What
I
you
mean,
think?
Chris
You think the
Bryant's
White Sox will do it? Because like I saw the White Sox play good baseball, and we were like,
That
"Whoa, the
wouldn't
White
shock me.
Sox!" And then they're like, "Oh, wait a
But their
second."
pitching, if the pitching is what is good for the Rockies, like,
It'll
come on.
definitely boost it. It'll
You
definitely
can't be
boost
the
it.
worst.
It'll,
Yeah.
dude. The Pirates may be there, bro. The Pirates are such a unbelievably dysfunctional franchise. It's so sad. It is so
Yeah,
sad
that's
that Paul.
ridiculous. They did have sell the team chance this past
He's
week.
gonna be a fucking Dodger, man.
No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't.
What do you mean?
He's
What's
too.
gonna be a
No,
fucking
he is
Mariner?
not like that. He will do it out of respect to the sport. That's how much I believe in Paul Skeens. They're gonna opt, and I don't.
Kyle, you say that, but then that Final Four check comes across your desk, and you've never seen that many fucking zeros
You
in your
did
life,
initially commit to Air Force, so I mean, we do have to like.
man. And then what'd he do?
Think about this
Transferred
guy.
to fucking LSU.
He was
He
our
got drafted
Brock.
by the Pirates.
We don't
and
know.
he
We
went
don't
over
know.
to the Doyers.
We'll see
All
what.
right, fine. He'll be a Yankee.
He's a
Thanks,
baller.
guys.
He's a top player in the league.
It'll be
You
funny
just
when
gotta
he's
do what
a
he's
Met
gotta do.
and P4 goes. Remember when I told you?
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Little
when-
brother
I always
Yankees.
loved
Yeah,
Can
what are we?
start
What are
that
we?
on
What
this
P4 is out
podcast,
here
please?
talking about all these different zeros, and your owner literally has all the zeros out there. I got nothing else.
So dumb.
There's not really a lot to talk about, but I do like bringing up a couple things, a couple little pinpoints. What do we got here? Every penny. They even work
Good
it.
insight.
Lot of
well,
pennies.
well,
It's a
Do,
lot
do,
of
do you
pennies.
guys have anything for your teams? Any quick remarks for your teams?
Yankees little brothers.
Not much.
I like Ivan Herrera.
Ivan Herrera.
That's my
He's
guy.
a good player.
I actually really like Garcia.
Michael.
Oh,
I remember I told Nick Howard a couple things that I won't repeat on this podcast. Not that
Thank
losing, but if Michael Garcia is playing well, ooh boy, Hunter Renfroe, count your days. Count your days.
It's Kyle's
bro.
going.
That's about it. Bobby Wood
Yeah.
Jr. is going to be on. Oh, also crazy. Okay, wait. Who's doing the dudes in sports, or not dudes in sports? Smart or dumb questions.
Me.
We're all doing dudes in sports.
You're doing that.
Yeah,
So
that's
I,
what we're doing next.
I know
actually.
you don't have
Ballet.
this like stat on here, but I saw this is crazy. So Bobby Witt Jr. almost had a cycle again today, which has been happening forever. And I wanted to know who was the player with the most one leg shy of a cycle of times in their career. Would anyone know who that is?
Probably gonna be some fat guy without any triples. Prince Fielder,
No.
David Ortiz.
No.
Pujols.
No. All right,
Pujols,
Nick.
Good answer. Good answer.
Oh shoot! Do we have 30 seconds? I don't know. For the Royals or MLB?
MLB ever.
Oh, yeah, it'd probably be like Prince Fielder or something like that.
Cabrera?
You guys are thinking a little bit too, like, in the middle of fat guys.
Barry Bonds.
Guys, who's the fat guy of the who's the fat? If you're thinking of who's the biggest, fattest, laziest alcoholic motherfucker of the MLB, who is that? I'll give you a hint. He's the best player in baseball, according to some
Danny
fans.
Burgers.
Is Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth
Dan
has 60 one leg shy.
That's actually what I was thinking
Games.
too. Is Dan? I was like, no way, it's Dan Vogelbach. What the heck are we talking about around here?
Nah.
All right, so since Kyle brought up Smarter Dome, we might as well get there now. So guys, get your boards ready. I got the scoreboard for you. We're at a deadlock tie from last week. We have 3 apiece for everybody. Then we have 1 week left of 5, and then of course we've got our finale at the very next week during our actual 1
Oh,
year.
this isn't the finale?
No, we have one more week, and then we got the finale during our 1 year anniversary as Dudes in Sports podcast, which is pretty exciting actually. It'll be on the 11th is our 1 year, but we're gonna celebrate on the 13th. So I got my questions ready for you. So let's do a little bit of UFC. I always like sprinkling in a little bit of UFC here. The very first question:
Kyle's fucked.
who has the longest UFC title reign? In one continual, who has the longest title reign? You got 10 seconds left. Alright, show me your boards.
Could have thought too deep.
What do we got? Islam, Silva, and DJ. You know what? Nick Howard pulled that out of his ass and got it correct. It is Anderson Silva. DJ is number 2.
I was thinking about that. Silva took so much time in between his fights. Like, I just saw that today.
Silva, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what made me
Yeah.
think of it.
Silva's
John
100%.
Jones is supposedly going to wait 21 days
Yep, until he
to
relinquishes
give
it.
up his belt, and then he's going to have Tom Aspinall versus Magomed, I think,
Yeah.
fight for the so he could beat was it DC's or Stipe, whoever it was.
It's Stipe, yeah.
Stipe has the longest consecutive title reign. But, like, hold on, and not even such silly
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yep, 100%. Silva, yeah, did have it for the longest time. So we got 1 point there for Howard. Question number 2. Well, a little bit of baseball. See if you remember from last year. How many games did the White Sox lose last year? What was the number of games the Chicago White Sox lost? It's an MLB record.
Is it closest to?
Depending on the answers. If someone, I mean, sure, might as well give a point. I like giving out points. We'll do closest to the pin. All right, show me your boards. What do we got? 121, 140. Is that 142?
Yep.
And then 122. Kyle hit it right on the money. It is 121 games. They did end up losing. Howard was one game off.
My damn math.
I saw Nick
One.
Howard's and I was like, oh no.
Yep, it was 121 games they lost last year.
You thought of their wins, didn't you? I knew their losses right away. Cause I was
All right,
like, if their wins, I'm screwed.
So another one closest to the pin here. We did bring it up a little bit. Ovechkin just beat the record for goals. What is that new record? What's the number of goals that Ovechkin currently has right now?
Oh jeez.
Closest to the pin wins.
Okay.
Unless somebody gets it right on the money. 2 people get right on the money.
I think I kind of know this. I don't know for sure. I'm like around a ballpark.
All right, show me your answers. 917, 685, 895, P4. Did you see this stat earlier? Because he got it right on the money.
He did.
Hockey talk. That's hockey talk.
895
Every
goals.
ESPN notification, NHL on
I
X,
don't
all
know
said
why
894,
I thought-
894, 894.
Yep.
That number's burned into my fucking skull right now.
Yep. So we didn't give out a lot of points last week, so I've been trying to give these questions
The
a
only
little
thing
bit
I
more
was
so we can
thinking
have.
was that maybe he scored 2 and it was going to be 896. And I was like,
896. Yeah, he scored 1. But this next question, I'm hoping most of you guys will be able to see this. The Masters is coming up, obviously. It's one of the best golf tournaments if you don't know about it. Who was the winner last year of the Masters tournament? Hopefully everybody can get this answer. The only one maybe the struggle would be P4, maybe Howard. But who won?
What? Whoa.
Who won the Masters last year?
I talked
Kyle, if
about
you missed
last
this, bro,
episode.
I'm going to be pissed. All right.
It wasn't him. Man.
Show me your boards.
There.
What do you got there? I can't even see it. No, it's so we got 2 Scotties and DeChambeau. It is Scotty Scheffler that did end up winning
Dude,
the
if
Masters.
DeChambeau won the Masters,
Oh
that
my
would be
God.
one of the craziest things to ever happen in golf history.
That was the
Yeah, 'cause
first
he's a
thing that
live
popped
guy,
off my
too.
head besides Tiger.
Scotty, we talked about the menus last week.
Yep. All right.
Oh, the whole.
Last question in the day. Okay, I did watch a movie last week. Okay, a movie called Death of a Unicorn with Paul Rudd and Jennifer Ortega. If you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty decent. But we're gonna go over Paul Rudd. Okay, Paul Rudd played in another great movie that we all love, Anchorman. Can you tell me the character name of Paul Rudd from Anchorman? What is the character name of Paul Rudd in Anchorman? I'll give you 30 seconds. If you get the first name right, I'll give it to you. I'll give you a second to think, because that's a long time ago, but Anchorman's a classic. Who is Paul Rudd in Anchorman?
I just can't.
I can't grasp it.
Had a last question to be kind of difficult, but
What was he? Was he? Because he wasn't weather, he wasn't sports. Was he like
he was
out?
field. He was the field guy.
Okay, he was out in the field. Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, give me your best guess. What do we got? It's John, Gary, and Sex Panther. His name was Brian Fantana.
Yeah.
Brian Fantana was the name of the field that was Paul
the
Rudd.
name of every other guy.
So we're gonna look at this scoreboard. P4 gained 2 points. He is now at 5. Howard got 1 point, so he is at 4. And K Stout got 2 today as well. Going into our finale, we've got K Stout and P4 tied at first, and Howard with only 1 point behind. 1 week left. Anybody's game to win and to unfortunately maybe spin the wheel. It should be a great episode for you guys next week. It is going to be our 1 year celebration on Dudes and Sports on YouTube. Congratulations to Dudes and Sports. The podcast will be 1 year old here soon. This will be pretty exciting stuff here. So we'll have some cool stuff there planned for next week. But yeah, great episode here, guys. Let's go whip around one more time. Let's start off with, I always like closing out with the man from way out west. So let's go to K Stout here first. What is your final words to the people?
Solid Final Four action. Nothing crazy. Great basketball. It's what we want. It's what the people want. And the up top guys know it. Baseball. Victor Robles. If you guys don't do anything else, go check out that catch he had. It's one of the craziest catches I've ever seen in baseball history. Truly. Football. Draft is going to be really exciting. It's always exciting. Brings me some joy. UFC, I still need to get into that. I never pay. I never watch. I don't know why. But I'll watch sometimes with the Modelo. Dead season's coming up. No, it's going to be...
Oh, fuck. Victor Robles got fucked up on that, man.
He caught it, though. It was crazy. I got nothing else except for Hunter Renfrow. Count your days, brother. And listen, Hunter Renfrow, I respect what you've been trying to do. I know you're still a human, but at the end of the day, I am a fan. I kind of pay for your salary in a way, so count your days.
Good job there, K-Stout, with your final words. Howard, what's your final
One
words?
of the guys who would say that to a cop too when he pulls it over. I pay your salary.
You know what I am as a citizen. It's a time of postseason heartbreak, a lot of stuff going on. P4's casualty, unfortunately, happening. But, at the same time, it's a good time because there's a lot of championships and quarterfinals and everything going on with the good games. When you're away from your teams and they're just already inevitably in the dirt. Liverpool is not going to advance in the Champions League, but they got the quarterfinals coming up. PCK stealth squads going at it, and then some. P4 annual little congrats Real Madrid Champions League winning party is probably coming soon.
Well, listen, at the end of the day,
other than that,
me and PC are most likely going to be facing P4's team in the semifinals, so
It'd be the finals because
No,
you guys
no.
would have to go through most likely
Barcelona. My bad.
Barcelona.
It's gonna be,
Yamal.
Yamal and Rafinha, who is Ballon d'Or candidate. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough squad to go through. But Champions League is going to be fun. Other than that, Cardinals are stinky. LSU is on the path to winning in baseball. They're
Royals
doing good in the portal, which is going to be coming up as well for a talk. KU baseball's even good. They may be going to Omaha.
Is that the
just
best?
have their dreams destroyed.
It'll be fine. It'll
by
be incredible
LSU.
to get there.
And
that would
then
be expected.
other than that, yeah, Kyle will probably predict that.
If we
as well
beat
himself.
LSU in the College World Series, that might be the
I'd
greatest.
be in shambles.
That would be the
I'd be in
greatest.
shambles.
Okay, what's crazier? KU baseball winning the College World Series, or KU football winning a national title in football?
Football.
No way, dude. The KU baseball's been so
I think it'd be
bad.
more well known, but baseball out of nowhere would be kind of crazy.
It'd be the craziest thing
in terms
ever.
of it'd be both nuts because it is mainly a basketball school. But with NIL now, you got money to bring in anybody. So that's kind of what's going on in LSU basketball. Well, we got the fourth best transfer coming in the nation, De'Don Thomas. Shout out my guy, Junior. Hopefully he does good along with a lot of the other guys. McMahon season. If McMahon, this dude that coached Ja Morant, if he doesn't have a team that gets him to the tournament this year with the talent he's bringing in on paper, he's got to go to the Sun. Just get him out of LSU basketball. I am so sick of them being ass all the time because especially dealing with these dudes with Duke and KU, it's just nothing good besides those years with Trendon Watford and Cam Thomas, which was cool. Nas Reed. Other than that, we've been irrelevant. Even with Ben Simmons, irrelevant. So I hope at least we can have some joy in that department. If not, I do know LSU football is at least winning a national championship as well. Clip it. And other than that, that is all I have to say for this segment.
Main man for Way Out West, also known as P4. What is your final words to the people?
Yeah, thanks for watching. Chat's been a little quiet this evening, but we'll get those viewers up. I mean, we're almost over that first hump next week. Exciting time with the boys as always. What else do we got going on? I mean, Duke, I'm surprised I didn't get more shit. I mean, I jumped on it pretty early. I dispelled the rumors pre-podcast, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have waited and made PC cry live. Like, no, the Big 12's bullshit. But then Kate Stelber said, I'm the referee. Just a quick recap of the podcast. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're getting into the baseball season, football mock drafts, Champions League. I'll see about that if I can get to those clips before they get copywritten. UFC's looking good. God, the thing that I was noticing with you, it's year round. Like, fuck, I went through a whole NFL season. I'm like, okay. And then, like, UFC's that
That's
fucking
like
constant.
boxing, dude.
Well, yeah,
I mean, like, how much
you
I'm
just keep
boxing,
going.
like, just fights in general. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this, like, summer span, I'm really into this. And all of a sudden it gets, like, winter, and then I just stop watching it. And it's like, fuck, man, it just keeps going. There's no off season. It's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah, because like the fighters are its own individual teams, and they have their off season, obviously, but the UFC keeps going. And Tavares will always be ready for that Apex card. So, great up, boys. I almost don't even want it to end, but considering I'm the only viewer, we might as well turn these off. So, goodbye, folks.
Yep, like, subscribe, check us out, obviously, every Sunday from 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific, gosh dang it, can't speak, 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central Time. I'll hopefully have a better outro than that one, and we'll see you next time.